Sonny, Joey, 500. Got some goats in the building. Get ready for a shakedown.
Prepare for a shakedown. We from Philly where they clap like huddles when they break down. Get ready for a shakedown. We underdogs, my guy. Kinda used to all the hate now. Prepare for it, man. Y'all get it. My QB got swag. My wideout is award winning. This fly was fly. Joey and 500. Like and subscribe. Yeah. Here's a quote you can sing back. Shake squad up and don't be a dingbat. It's a shakedown.
Don't you frown.
It's
Get
a
your
shakedown.
shakedown.
Let's go.
Yo, my doing? Cake Dingbat here. Welcome to another Philly Shakedown podcast with my man Joey Shakes. Joey Shakes, what is happening, man?
Not much, man. We got the first day of cuts, and we are locked and loaded to go. It's just going to get tougher and tougher as the weekend goes on.
Yeah,
so
absolutely. We'll get into it in a second. Logan Motorsports, what's going on? Fly Rise, what's up? We just got to give all our hellos to everybody. Elmont, Flybirds 20. Thank you guys for being here. Khalil, Big Max, HVSJR, Frederick, JJ Rock Philly, what's going on? How are you guys all doing? Skid Marks is here. Jaden's here. Robert's here. Grunge Smurf, what's going on, buddy? Philly Wyman's here. Leon, what's going on? Blean Kelly Green. Backyard Bird Podcast. Jameson, what's happening? Anybody I'm missing? I'm trying to see. It's so hard to catch everybody. But we thank you guys for being here. We appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. And as Joey's saying, who else is here? Oh, Lions Den's here. Shout out to Lions Den. He's here too. Francis Henry's here. So the Eagles, they've started their cuts, right? We're starting to see cuts come in. No, I don't think anything too surprising, but
right.
Man, why don't you tell us? Joey has it right in front. Tell us what we have so far.
Okay, the roster cuts so far. Offensive line, we got Tyrese Robinson, Dennis Kelly, Brett Toth, Josh Andrews, and Cameron Tom. Wide receiver, we have Deion Kane, the only receiver that was cut so far. We have QB Ian Book, tight ends Dan Arnold, and Tyree Jackson.
The only one that bothers me a little bit is the Tyree Jackson one. Mm-hmm. I'm still fascinated by the possibility that he has potential, but I don't think the other ones are really too much of a surprise. I guess I think maybe the Deion Kane one. I thought that was a little early. Maybe they're trying to help him out, get maybe attached to another team because he deserved a better look than being part of the first wave of cuts. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I thought he would be like one of the final cuts to go.
There's too much involvement with the wide receiver core right now just because the Greg Ward thing, the special teams, kick return, Devin Allen. What are they going to prioritize for more value? Is it going to be Devin Allen? Are they going to waste it? Are they going to put another roster spot on top of Britton Covey? Will it be Devin Allen for kick returns? Are they going to keep 5 or 6 receivers? What are they going to do, bro? I don't know.
I would love to be a fly, a very big ass fat fly on the wall of of that office with Howie Roseman. Like, true. I would love to know what they're thinking because I really think we're going to see some movement here, and I think I think at least 2 trades go down before the end of it. And I'm not saying there necessarily have to be big trades, but I do think things are going to go down. I am a little surprised that Kane went so early. The only thing that I can think of is that maybe they're thinking they want to give him an opportunity to sign with somebody else. Otherwise, I really don't understand it. I don't know what they're going to do.
Well, Philly, they cut Kane before Hazelwood. Really?
Yeah, that's
weird.
What I'm saying. That's why I'm saying maybe the reason is, and I'm just speculating, that maybe that they feel like if he goes early enough, somebody will pick him up. I don't know. Keith Saunders, he goes, I really believe we should keep Greg Ward over Crash Test Covey. If you do that, then you got to play what? Greg Ward on punts or balls to Scott? I mean, I could live with that. I really wish they'd let Devin Allen do punts. Cue Ball the Bird, thank you for the super chat. He goes, cry, couch boys, cry on the road to therapy. I like that. Cry, couch boys, cry. Take some Prozac 1, 2, 3. That's right. Shove it in high, shove it in low, and let that thing go down slow. Yes.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Pause. Huge pause.
Huge pause. Anthony James. Oh man, thank you so much for the super chat. He goes, "Hello from Fargo, North Dakota. I love both your channels, man. We thank you so much, man. Thank you so much for being here. Appreciate it. I want to go to North Dakota someday. I do. No, I do. I just keep thinking about the cowboy song. That's great. But I don't know. I mean, it's it's really not surprising. Like, I didn't think Kane would make it, but I do wonder what they're going to do at the receiver position, because I personally think that Covey is making this team. I think he's all locked to make this team. And does that mean Greg Ward goes? And then if Greg Ward stays, then Devin Allen's definitely gone. See, I think Devin Allen's gone. I think Devin Allen's going to go. I think he's going to get cut. Now, they may bring him back on a practice squad if he clears waivers, but I don't know if he will clear waivers. You know what I mean?
Not sure, man. It's going to be I don't know where they're going to prioritize their value, because depth at receiver is not really the big thing right now. It shouldn't be, but of course you want to kind of see, like, God forbid somebody goes down, like, who can replace Devontae Smith, who can replace AJ Brown. And we really, you can always move Quez inside to the outside because he can play outside receiver as well. And obviously you have Oz as well. That's a pure slot receiver. So it's going to be a big decision they have to make. So
yeah. Leon says, "Is it true Lance is wearing number 8?" I don't know what number Lance is. Do you know what Trey Lance is going to wear with Dallas? And we're going to talk about that in a minute too. I'm not sure. Yeah. Eagle Lifer, thank you for the super chat. He goes, "Redemption tour, bring home that Lombardi, baby." Absolutely. Mm-hmm. I agree. License Break 13 says, "What's up, 500 and Shakes? Do you both think we will get Jonathan Taylor?" I think the Eagles would like to. If the Colts are really standing firm to a first-round pick, there's no chance. No chance. But I mean, I think there's a chance, but I don't know how likely it is.
So there was a poll around the league with I read that some executives, like there was a lot of executives asked on the value of Jonathan Taylor. Obviously, it's a big question mark right now because of obviously the injury, and there's going to be no teams that really want to pay him what he wants. It's just not going to happen. But a lot of people are saying right now that he's worth a day 2 pick, which the Eagles have 2 of those picks. I know you've kind of been on board with that. I've kind of been against it. It just really depends on, like, what is the plan for, if you're given a day 2 pick, you're obviously looking to extend him on top of signing him. Yeah, if that's the case. So
it has to be an extension. Right. You can't give a second-round pick for a one-year guy, But if I would only consider a second-round pick or a third-round pick for one reason: if I got him to an extension, and because I have 2. I have 2 second rounds, but that would be the only reason. Jaden, member for 2 months at Dingbat Nation, man. Shout out to you, man. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. He said Ward did enough to have a spot, in my opinion. I thought Ward was, from what I saw in preseason in the games, I thought Tyreek Cleveland and Ward were the best 2 receivers. So I agree that he earned a spot. But my whole thing is, like, when I look at Allen, I see a guy that has had very few opportunities in 2 years to do something. But every time he's been given opportunity, he's flashed. Right? The 55-yard catch last year in the preseason game. And then in the punt return, I just wonder what he could, like, I don't want to let him go. You might have to.
Did you hear what Devin Allen said about the kick return?
No.
He said he hasn't returned a kick in 7 to 8 years, which means the Eagles didn't even have Devin Allen kick returning in training camp at all. And this was like this preseason game was like they just threw him in there. So he hasn't even done this in training camp, which is kind of weird. You know what I mean? I don't know why.
It is weird. But it is weird. Joe says, besides Gannon being an idiot, why did It'd only take a 7th rounder for Simmons. That seems to be extremely cheap for someone who has his talent. Is he a cancer or injury prone? I don't think he's been a cancer at all. He might have had an injury or two, but I don't think he's injury either. I don't know why they did that, except for the fact that Jonathan Gannon probably hates the Eagles and the Eagles hate him. I honestly don't think the Eagles will trade with them now. I really did,
No, I mean it's been a big fire sale in Arizona. They got rid of an offensive tackle. Yeah. They're getting rid of a lot of players. I don't know why.
Yeah.
But.
Yeah. Ian says Allen did amazing in that big return. He did. And it's funny, I did my 53-man roster projection. And I do like multiple copies. So I do it and then I go and I edit and I change names. So I had it when it said wide receivers, I put 6. I think I put 6 defensive tackles, but there was only 5. But I'm not sure if I just didn't change the number or if I counted wrong now. So I might have one open spot. And it was my last 2 guys that I had that couldn't make it was Mekhi Gardner or Devin Allen, and it would come down to one of those 2 guys. I think they got a lot of, especially the defensive backs. I think there's a lot of good guys, man. Eli Ricks better make this team. Otherwise, there's a problem. In my opinion.
I mean, he did really good. I mean, the Colts game. I mean, he did a fantastic job against starters.
I think he was a steal.
Yeah.
Did you hear him after the game? Did you hear what he had to say?
I forgot what he said.
He said it was a humbling experience going from being always one of the best players on a team to having to prove yourself. But like it brought an edge out of him. I really like that. Yeah, I like that kid a lot. He's tall and he's lanky. I think he's a good player. Dave does his Eli Ricks will definitely be a starter for us in a couple years. His footwork and football IQ is wild. It is. I like the kid. JMB says, I'm done with preseason. I can't wait till next Sunday. Yeah, we're all done with preseason. It's just a matter of what the roster is going to look like.
Yeah.
And, we'll see the initial 53, and that initial 53 will not be the 53 that goes into week 1. There's always changes, I think a couple guys that could get traded are Derek Barnett. And I know a lot of people don't think that, but I think it's possible. And I think, I've heard rumors about Greg Ward Jr. getting traded too, that he might get traded because they basically want to get him a job somewhere else because he might not make the team otherwise. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting. Yeah. Henry, thank you for Super Chat. He goes, I think Tyree, if he makes through waivers, will be put on the practice squad. And he's talented. If Devin Allen doesn't make it, excellent gunner and kick returner. Agreed. I agree. I think Tyree. Well, the way they set it up for him, didn't they waive him already? So he may be put back on the practice squad.
Dude,
he might have already cleared.
6'7", dude, like 6'7", and he can get some separation. Like I feel like there's something there with him, man. It's just he's got to stay healthy. He's got to have consistent off-season camps because he hasn't really been healthy. And I hope he makes it back to waivers. I mean, I know we said this was like the last straw for Tyree Jackson for this year, obviously, when it comes to the active roster, because we kind of already knew they were going to keep 3 tight ends with Jack Stahl and having Grant Calcaterra. So,
Well, I think oftentimes that if you want somebody, and I've heard this before, that if you want them to clear waivers, cut them early because teams are still trying to figure out their rosters, and all he has to do is make it 24 hours. So I think maybe they're trying to sneak him past waivers. I think he needs. I think you need to keep him. He's got talent. He's got talent. David says, "Why did we waste a 3rd round pick on Ringo?" I know Ringo didn't look great, but we got to be somewhat patient with him. Let's see how he develops.
Well, look at this. Like Zach McPherson looked horrible his rookie year, and he was a 4th round pick. Okay, Zach McPherson was a 4th round pick from Texas Tech, and he didn't look good in preseason. His tackling looked pretty good. His coverage, he gave up some touchdowns. He got burnt preseason, Zach McPherson. But look at him now. You know what I mean? Like was on the stepping stone of really being that pure backup, not only a special teamer, but a pure backup at the nickel corner spot. So I mean, you got to give these guys more than a year. It's you can't give up. You know, I mean, the Eagles aggressively traded up for him, before the second day happened. So you really have to just give it some time. That's all.
Well, and the other thing is a lot of people think he's better fit for safety. So to me, cross train him. He's a guy. I have to keep Ringo because of what I invested in him in the draft. I'm going to keep him. The question is going to be like when it comes to the secondary or the defense of the corners. Let's say you got your three, right? Slade, Bradbury, Maddox. I think Josh Jobe is the next defensive back they really like. Then I think Eli Ricks makes it. And then I think you have to keep 7. I really think you're going to have to keep
between
7
Goodrich and Garner.
Yeah, and I kind of like Goodrich too because he can play in the slot. So,
right.
I think you keep 7 defensive backs. They may stash somebody, but
True.
I don't know. Yeah, Ringo needs to learn how to tackle. Yeah, I mean, I think they keep. I'd be surprised if Ringo got cut. But I will say this from a pure standpoint of who played better in the preseason games. Mekhi Garner, Goodrich were better than him. They both were better than him.
I agree. Yeah.
So, Jameson Smith says Ringo was only drafted because he was a bulldog, in my opinion. It might be. I mean, we'll see what happens. There's a lot of guys in those corners I really like. Buzzology says, no, let's talk about Devin Allen. And they finally used him like we've been saying. Needs to run punt returns next. I know. Well, that was the thing that I didn't understand. Like, you put him on a kickoff return, put him out there for punt returns too. But not only punt returns, he did a great kickoff. And then he does great as a gunner. And he did great as a gunner last preseason too. So to me, I think from a special teams standpoint, he should earn a spot. I swear, I think he should earn a spot. I'm probably going to keep him, and I may trade Greg Ward Jr. And keep Devin Allen because I think he's the best kick returner you got right now.
Yeah,
he's the best.
I mean,
and if he can't do punts, he can play on special teams as a gunner.
Michael Clay's really thrown everybody at kick return and punt. He's thrown anybody. He's thrown Trey Sermon. He's thrown Zach McPherson at kick return, like random bodies that I know that are not going to make it at that position. But at least for the third preseason game, if Covey was already out, because he's been out the whole entire training camp pretty much, and the guy is going to need so much work. Is he even going to be ready by the start of the season? So they should have at least tried Devin Allen at both spots just to give him some work. He
hasn't even done a punt return.
No.
So how do you know? How are they going to have confidence to put him back there? Splendid says Philly 500. Eli Ricks was rated the best corner in preseason. I believe it because last game, if you go watch that last game, he's covering. What's his face? The starting receiver, Michael Pittman Jr.
Mm-hmm.
He had good coverage on Michael Pittman Jr. So to me, he's a steal.
True. I agree.
Keith Saunders says, I'm faster than Ringo. I thought Ringo ran like a 4.39 or something. Didn't he have a really good 40 time?
He did.
He just looked lost. The one play, I think it was game 2, he should have had a pick, and he couldn't find the ball. It's tough. Paul Feder, thank you for super chat. He goes, we need the R word punter. I'm not saying that word because they'll come at me. Listen, you can't say he's that. He was cleared of it. But I agree. They need a punter. Let's see. License says, Allen, look, this is our year. Go Eagles. I agree. Somebody said, let's talk. Rico says, Allen looked good on kick return. He did. Brian says, let's talk about the punter. We are talking about the punter. Punter stinks.
Sucks.
Dude, I swear, there was a punt that he punt, and Devin Allen was 20 yards downfield, and the ball bounced behind him. I don't understand why they're keeping this punter. I guess it's because of the field goals is the issue. I mean,
can't bring him. You can't just keep him because he's a holder. I mean, it's just stupid.
Just keep him as a holder. Just keep him. Dwight Davis says Philly 500. How about them Cowboys? Dak calling plays. Trey Lance on the sideline making himself at home. Yeah, I know. Dak's got to find a new job because his starting gig's about to end. How about that?
Real soon.
Paul Feder, David Super Tate goes, how do you think Belichick will come at us? I think Belichick will probably try to blitz and confuse Jalen Hurts with different integral blitzes. He likes to do things like that. Try to give him looks he hasn't seen. And I think from offensive standpoint, I think they have to run the ball. I think that the New England Patriots are going to have problems this year moving the ball through the air.
Yeah.
And if they can't move the ball down the air, if they fall behind, I think they're going to be in trouble. They're going to have to run the ball, and they're going to have to be in a game so that running game's still effective. And I think this game will be close in the first two quarters. I think the Eagles pull away because of the passing game in the third and fourth, and I think it ends up being a blowout. That's what I think is going to happen.
Yeah, I think I think they got to run the ball a lot against us, and we'll see. I forgot who they have at. I know they got that guy that left the Kansas City Chiefs with the TikToks or the hell is
yeah, Juju Schuster.
The ex-Miami receiver too. What's his name? The one we didn't want, remember? We didn't want them. We didn't want the Eagles going after him. Devontae Parker, I think, is over there too.
Yeah, they got Devontae Parker. But it to me, it's the quarterback.
That's
the problem. Yeah. I watched a couple of their games, and they can't move the ball. And yeah, it's preseason, but I think they're going to have a problem. But we'll see. Tortyville says, I think the Eagles are afraid to get rid of Sippos because Jake does well with him molding. Yeah, I mean, that may be part of it, but man, it's going to cost us some games, I'm afraid, Joe says, no pressure, Dak. Jerry Jones' birthday present was getting Lance, but no pressure, Dak. I'm sure there will be a quarterback controversy with you, Dak, but we'll win between Rush and Lance. So let's get into we'll talk briefly. Let's talk briefly about this Cowboy thing, and then we'll go back to Eagles, but I want to get, what is your opinion of the trade? Like, what are your thoughts about Dallas getting Trey Lance for a fourth round pick?
Yeah, I mean, it's assurance that for your future. I mean, because really at the end of the day, like you're waiting like 2 years or maybe this year or next year to see if Dak can really do anything. I think like it's Super Bowl or bust with that team really going into next year. Jerry Jones owns that team, and he made this decision to trade for Trey Lance without permission from anybody, not even Dak Prescott. Nobody, never said a word to anybody about it. So I feel like it's a warning to Dak Prescott. It's kind of like you're going to have to step up because how many more years are we going to wait? And I think it's time. I mean, I'm not saying he's going to get benched this year, but at least what they're going to do is, because they don't want to risk paying Dak and not playing up to standard, if you put Trey, and I think this is a good, like, unbiased, take away all that. I think it is a good move. I mean, I think you, as a third quarterback right now for the Dallas Cowboys, I think it's a really good assurance policy where you can have him come in, let him learn, see what they could turn him into coaching staff wise. And, you never know. Then they won't have to pay him. So if if they get rid of Dak and start Trey Lance his last year of his contract, then they won't have to pay him, and they could, worry about doing other moves and building around him another quarterback all over again. So it's a warning, man. It's
a shot heard around the world, because to me, you don't give. Listen, you want a third string quarterback, you don't give a fourth round pickup. A fourth round pick in the draft to me is always a pick that should make the team.
True.
So you only do that. He's doing that because he's letting him know. This is what he's saying. I built a team that's good enough to go to the Super Bowl. You better take us there, or we're going to have other options. And we're going to develop this kid over the course of a year, and then we'll see what you do. Dak is on the hot seat. It's just the way it is. And I think Leon Banks, David Super Chat goes, over under Lance starts 3 games for the Cowboys in 23. I'm going to say over. I'm going to say over 3. I want to see how Dak reacts. if he's struggling,
Yeah.
because this to me could end up being like a Carson Wentz, Nick Foles type thing, because what's going to happen now. If Dak struggles, people are going to call for Trey Lance. That's what they're going to want to see
Immediately.
And the kid's got talent. There's no question. He was the number 2 overall pick or something like that. I think that this is Jerry Jones saying, I built a team that's good enough to win. Go win.
I think not only is it a loss for it's a win for the Cowboys, but I think it's a major, not a loss for the 49ers, but I think it's a major sacrifice for them, because they really, like, after, Garoppolo, they had options over the years. They had Garoppolo leaving. Then obviously, Brock Purdy gets drafted. They draft Trey Lance. So, Trey Lance gets hurt his first year. So Brock Purdy, with only not a full season under his belt, you know what I mean? And already putting so much into him now. And you got to see what this quarterback looks like now with a blueprint on him now to see how he plays. And usually when quarterbacks just come in, they're very successful because there's no blueprint. There's no one has tape on these quarterbacks that come right in, and they're pretty successful. But now with tape on Brock Purdy, and to see how Brock Purdy is going to react to teams now, trying to figure him out now. I mean, it's a big sacrifice going with Brock Purdy. They better have known they made the right decision. That's all I got to say.
Yeah,
it's a great team, but
I don't have an opinion enough about Brock Purdy because I haven't seen him play enough. So I'm waiting to see. But as of right now, he's going to have to prove it. Dan says Alex Rollins did a video on New England. They run a lot of dime package and have 6 defensive backs do everything: pass rush, cover, and play linebacker. Well, that's Belichick is very good at, like, his defenses and his offenses, for that matter, they can literally change their style week to week. So that doesn't surprise me. But it's still, when you think about the pressure the Eagles offense is going to put on them, especially I think when you unleash Swift next week. When you start, like, I want to see Swift in the passing game. I think it's going to be interesting. Brian David for the super chat. He goes, we can't just Sipos. We need a punter. Get a punter. I understand. I'm with you 100%. I am.
Bring somebody in.
Yeah, I take the over 2 on Dak. I'm not sold on Mac Jones. I'm not. I'm not sold on Mac Jones at all, Paul Fetter, thank you for the super chat, man. Appreciate it. What are the Pats' strengths? Well, coaching is a strength. I think their defense is a strength. I think also, I think their secondary is not too bad. They got Peppers there, right? They even got what's his face? We had, like, his name's
Jalen Mills.
Jalen Mills, and Jalen Mills
playing
good. And I think they run the ball well. They run the ball pretty good.
They got Ezekiel Elliott now too. So
yeah, I think they can run the ball. Where I think their struggle is when Mac Jones has to throw. That's going to be questioned. And they did get some receivers. They got Parker and they got Juju, and we'll see how much of an upgrade that helps or that is. But I'm not sold on Mac Jones. So it's just like we'll see.
Yeah.
Paul Ferrer, thank you for super chat. Philly, how do you bet on games? And I'm in California too. I use I don't know if I should say this.
He goes to the secret gambling room in the hotel.
I use some online offshore betting stuff. I know a few good fellas.
Oh boy.
And also what is it called, the thing that can change your address? You know what I'm saying? So I forget what it's called. My brother set up for me. It's like something so you can be somewhere else while you're here. And that's how I'd be able to do it. So that's it. James says, Philly fans funny. What the heck y'all know? We know everything. But the sooner you realize this, the better off you'll be. Nathan says, the Lance thing kind of brings into focus how stingy Howie with draft capital is. Yeah, I agree. Paul says, Joey, what the hell are you looking at? Face the camera.
I'm looking at my wall.
Oh, look, it's Cole's Cowboys. Mr. Excuse. It's Mr. Excuses here. Y'all Eagles fans sound scared. Scared of what? Oh, scared of what? I'm just telling you what you're in for. I mean,
because his
we were
boy's
so
about
scared,
to lose his job real soon. That's why, because that's his boy right there.
you better go hold Mark Holmes and rock him, because he's really losing his mind. His boy Dak's days are numbered. Williams says, for 500, I got to think we have a great amount of talent in secondary. How we really built it up in free agents defensive back was read wrong with the scouts. I think they have tremendous young talent at the defensive backs. I do, especially, the corners. It's just a question of, are they going to be able to keep all those guys? That I don't know how they're going to be able to do it. We got 740 people in the chat. Thank you guys so much for being here. If you do, hit that like. Make sure you subscribe. Click the link in the description. Make sure you sub up Joey. Sub up both of us. It is going to be fun. You all scared of Dak and the Cowboys? We coming for the meats. Pause. Yeah, you're coming for meats, but it ain't our meats. Listen, the one team I'm not scared of is the Dallas Cowboys. There's no reason for me to be scared of them. They're a bunch of losers. They can't win the big games. I think the Eagles are going to sweep Dallas. It's going to be a wonderful thing. I'll be streaming that Dallas game week 1, Sunday night. Cowboys Giants. Giants it's fun to watch, but you can never, you can't really get too excited if the Giants are beating Dallas, because you kind of hate them too. You just hope that they beat the crap out of each other. Eagles Lifer, thank you for the super chat. He goes, Eagles 30, Pats 20, score prediction, fly Eagles fly. I like that. I'm going to say 31-17, something like that. It's going to be interesting. So the Dallas situation is interesting. I don't know what Dak really feels about it, but it's going to be interesting to see.
Who cares
if it bothers him? During the year, he throws a couple interceptions early, dude. Those fans are going to turn on him. Paul, thank you for the super chat. He goes, Shanahan's offense style got 5 quarterbacks injured last year. San Francisco got money. That's true. Trey might have success if he doesn't have to count on number 2 tight end for a pass pro. Yeah, and thank you for super chat. I actually think Trey Lance has talent. And going to Dallas for him personally, his career, it probably is a good thing for him to sit back, play behind Dak, and just develop. I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing, and I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing for Dallas. Jerry Jones is doing the right thing for the team. I get that. But I also think it is a message to Dak Prescott. I mean, would you Cowboy fans out there agree that it is a message that, hey, listen, you got to win some playoff games? Because I don't think you give a 4th-round pick for a 3rd-string quarterback.
Yeah, it's not it may seem like not a big pick, but it is. It's a role playing pick. It is.
I mean, if you, I don't know, have the trades in front of us, but if you look at some of the players we have gotten for 4th-round picks, I bet you they were pretty effective. Joe says, Philly Joey, I believe next weekend starts the Eagles minor league team, the Georgia Bulldog season. Thinking of our minor league team should win another NCAA championship. Never too early to evaluate. I know, right? I'm becoming a Georgia Bulldog fan because of all the Eagle players,
Sure that.
Peter says, Dallas always stinks. Absolutely. Timmy says, Philly 500, Maxie Smith is a bust. I agree. Cole's Cowboy says, I agree. It is a message. It is a business. Yeah, it's a business. Now, I'm not saying Dak can't handle it. I mean, we'll find out. But it definitely is, hey, I put a good team in front of you. Go win. And it's going to.
Yeah, I mean, they've already seen Cooper Kupp win games without Dak. It's already on the table. They've already seen him win games as a backup quarterback. So they can easily, if anything goes wrong or things going downward spiral, they can always change quarterbacks during the game. I mean, Cooper Rush. Sorry, Cooper Rush.
Cooper Kupp just destroys
Cooper Kupp. Sorry, Cooper Rush.
But yeah, no, it's gonna be really. It'll be interesting. It's going to be an interesting season. Now, no doubt. Now, what do you think? Getting back to the Eagles, what do you think the move is. Like we're going to have our cuts and stuff like that, but what do you think Howie's planning? Because to me, I feel like there's at least 2 trades coming. I feel like at least 2.
I'm gonna take the Jonathan Taylor stuff out of it. Like I'm just gonna kind of take that out of my mind because I don't know. I mean, I really don't know. But I'll say this. I'll say safety is interesting because I feel like even in that last, it's like there are people in the comment section when I discussed this on a video of saying like, well, Sidney Brown played a lot, Kevon Wallace played a good amount. Like they didn't sit any of these safeties. Like they all got playing time, which is starting to tell me now that they're still unsure at that position. Maybe they have some guys that have stand out. Maybe they don't feel 100% comfortable with that position. So is safety a big need where they're going to look at a considerable similar trade they made like with Chauncey Gardner-Johnson at the end of the end of last offseason before the season started, which was a very late trade. So could that be a really big, signing? A top-tier player.
Yeah. I mean, Elmer says, when do you expect a big trade to happen? Well, I don't even know if it'll be a big trade, but I do think there's a couple moves that going to happen. I think they're going to want to trade somebody like maybe like Greg Ward or somebody that they want to go to another team. So I can see something like that. But I do agree with you. I think safety is the spot you got to watch. And the reason I say that is it's like you're saying, you had these guys playing. Sidney Brown was playing in the 4th quarter of the 3rd preseason game. Kevon Wallace was out there. They're out there in the second half. If those guys are starters, they're out. Terrell Edmonds, if he was a starter, he doesn't play. You didn't see Reed Blankenship in there. So it tells you that they're still trying, that nobody has won that job outright yet. And I think Sidney Brown's eventually going to be the guy, but they just may not feel it's ready. So I think the spot we got to watch is the safety spot, because I could definitely see a similar trade to the C.J. Gardner-Johnson trade going down. Last year, C.J. Gardner-Johnson, I think we traded from August 30th. I believe that was the day. So I think that could happen. Now, I don't know. There's only one safety right now, maybe 2 that I can think of, right? Kevin Byard and then Jeremy Chin. Jeremy Chin seems to me that if he is available, and I'm not saying he is, but that would be intrigued. The Eagles would be very intrigued with that since they almost drafted him. And he's in the last year of a contract. But it's probably most likely somebody we're not even thinking about or talking about.
So projected draft picks for 24. So apparently the Eagles have 10 picks with compensatory involved. They will have 10 draft picks next year. They'll have their own first. They'll have their own second. They'll have another second from the Saints trade. They'll have a 3rd round compensatory. They'll have a 5th rounder.
Wait. They have a 3rd round compensatory on top of the 3rd round they already got?
No. Okay. So they have one, they have their own first, they have their own second, and then they have a Saints second. So they have 2 seconds. The 3rd round pick is a compensatory pick. The 5th rounder is from the Vikings that could turn into a 4th. Now I don't know what trade that was. I don't know what trade that was with the Vikings.
It's the Rager trade. I think it's the Rager trade.
Bucket. So the next 5th round pick is from the Bucks. That's who we traded this past draft. I remember we traded one of our picks for a 5th rounder. They have another 5th round compensatory pick, another 5th round. So there's four 5th round picks next year's draft.
I take 2 of those 5ths and I make them a 4th. That's how I always look at it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean that's what I'm saying. They have ammo. Like if you want to go get Jonathan Taylor for some, you have the ammo to do it.
Right.
2-6. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Fuzz from Australia, thank you for super chat. He goes, I'm on vacation with my family. I had to make sure I was available to watch your show. Pound Cowboys still stink, even when I'm on the holidays. Thank you, Fuzz from Australia.
Awesome.
Shout out to you, man. You are awesome. Thank you. Paul Beerhalter says it's going to be Carlos Emmons. Oh, Carlos Emmons is good. Type signal a play caller we don't know at linebacker and come in and cover tight ends. Maybe. I mean, you could they definitely can use depth at linebacker. That's another position, you know.
Yeah.
But I think they're pretty comfortable with their starting linebackers. You know, Nakobe Dean didn't play, and Zach Cunningham didn't play. But
Zach Cunningham
all
especially.
all those safeties
played, right?
They all played, and they played in the second half,
except Reed.
Except for Reed Blankenship. So to me, I think the Eagles are looking for safety. That's the position I think it just makes sense that they would look for. Now, like I said, I don't know who's available because Buda Baker's definitely not now that they redid his money. So who? I don't know. But, you know, there's always that C.J. Gardner-Johnson guy in the last year of a contract that they like that, you know.
Right.
Just needs that shift. It's really a shame. It's a shame and it's not. But like I think the Eagles when they got CJ Gardner-Johnson, they thought he would be good safety, but they didn't think he would be that good. And he played himself out of Philly. You know, so but we do need somebody, you know.
True that.
Beat Blade got his Blankenship the Ghost, has Sidney Brown the Human Rocket going to have a big year. I like Sidney Brown. I do, but I wonder if he's available. I mean, I wonder if he's available to start, rather, you know? Like, do they look at Sidney Brown and say he's a starter? I mean, if they do, then why is he in the fourth quarter of a third preseason game? I think they're saying that he's not ready. That's what it tells me, that they're saying he's not ready yet. So, yeah, I mean, if the guy I would like is if I could go out and get Jeremy Chin, I would give a second-round pick right now for Jeremy Chin.
Damn.
I would. You wouldn't give it a second-round pick?
Yeah, I mean,
second-round pick, and I'd sign him long-term because that's an important position.
I'd rather give a second-round pick for a safety than a running back right now.
Right. Yeah.
Because we already have running backs. So.
Yeah. Tortiville says Sidney Brown needs a start. He will make some mistakes, but he clearly superstar skills already. The vet corners will help him out too. Why waste time and not let him learn on the field? I agree. If you're going to keep with the safeties that they have right now, right, barring that they make a move, but what they have right now, I agree. Sidney Brown needs a start. If it was me, based upon the roster I have right now, I'd have Sidney Brown starting. Yes, he's going to make mistakes as a rookie, but I think he's more talented. I just think Edmonds stinks. Like, he don't look like he's got anything to me.
Nah.
I'm not trying to be rude, but
he was the plan B out. He was just the plan B option for Chauncey leaving. I mean, Chauncey was supposed to be here long term. That was the plan. It just didn't go through. So.
Yeah. So I would say that if there was one move that I think Howie makes to bring in a player, I think it's going to be for safety. I do. Now Matt Ariza or punter, you know, they could get a punter off somebody that gets cut. They could also get Matt Ariza. He's out there. It don't cost you anything.
I don't think they're going to go. I think they're going to stick with Zippos. I don't think they're going after anybody.
I do too. John Jones says trade Barnett to the Panthers for Jeremy Chin. Boy, how I would love that. I would never sleep so well than the day that Derek Barnett is traded. Frank said they should have kept the safety from last season. That whole thing got screwed up.
It was a mess.
Because C.J. Gardner-Johnson wanted a ton of money. The Eagles didn't want to pay him, so the Eagles said, well, we're not going to be able to pay him. Let's go bring back Darius Slay, because they were about to let Darius Slay move. Remember, he was about to go to Baltimore. And they gave Darius Slay the money. And then when C.J. Gardner-Johnson couldn't get what he wanted and was willing to come down, it was too late. They already used the money on Slay. So the whole thing was a mess.
He wanted to get paid as a safety. That's what he wanted to get paid top safety money. Like there wasn't that many safeties. There was only one safety. That safety from the Bengals that went to another team. I forgot his name, but he got paid. I forgot where he went. Where did he chat? Where did he go? I forgot his name too. He got paid. So there was the safety. I mean, there wasn't really a big market. It was for one guy got paid the most money, but that was it. But teams didn't look at him as a safety. I mean, he played 1 year really good. Jesse Bates.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember. Did he get paid or did he go somewhere else?
He went somewhere else, I think.
Dude, the Bengals don't pay nobody, man. They're not going to pay
Falcons.
Burrow. You watch.
Yeah.
You watch. They don't pay Burrow, dude. You
don't think?
This team, they're cheap. They always have problems with contracts. They're not going to pay Burrow. He's going to end up somewhere else. He'll probably end up in like Green Bay in like a year or two. Michael says, I think Desai will use formations with 3 safeties. I think you're probably right at times, which means Brown will be included along with Blankenship with either Evans or Edmonds. I think so too. No doubt about it. But I'm curious which one of those guys they look at as the number 2 safety behind Blankenship. I actually like Sidney Brown. I actually like Evans too. And listen, I thought Kevon Wallace played. Like, to me, I actually think my surprise cut is Edmonds. I think Edmonds is going to get cut. That's what I think. I actually do. Eagle fan for life, a member for 4 months. Thank you so much, man. Appreciate it. He goes, what up, boys? I hate we let go of Dan Arnold. Really?
He's a slow sack of shit.
There was nothing I saw from him that I thought was.
He's slow. He's really slow.
What do you think Jeremy Chin would cost? I'm thinking because he was drafted as a 2nd round pick, right? So do you think you could trade him for a 3rd?
I say a 3rd or a 4th,
maybe. I would do that so fast.
Yeah, I'm down. I'm totally down for that.
Oh, I would love to get him signed. Fabio, thank you for Super Chat. He goes, did Tennessee pay their safety? Not that I heard. No.
They restructured
Kevin Byard.
They restructured him, I think.
Buda Baker got restructured. I don't know if Byard did or not.
I think he did.
I don't know if Byard. He did?
Yeah, I think so.
We got 804 people in the chat. Thank you guys so much for being here. If you're new to the channel, hit that like, make sure you subscribe, and definitely click the link if you're in my channel, and go sub up Joey Shakes as well. We will be doing this. It's going to be fun, man. We've got, it sucks though. The way they do the whole system right now is like there's no football next week at all. Like we have to go the whole week. Like it's too long from the last preseason game to start of the season, in my opinion. It just is.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I think the next few days is really interesting.
They haven't touched those. They haven't touched the defensive backs yet. They want to just that's not think about it for part. Today. I know.
Yeah. Blake Hart says, I can't wait for the season to start. Me too. I wouldn't even be surprised if the 53-man roster comes out and it comes out like where you have 8 corners. Like, you know what I mean? So that way you can put one of them on IR. Like, there's going to be a lot of finagling this 53-man roster because I don't know how. I personally, Mekhi Gardner deserves to be on this team. Goodrich needs to be on this team. You have to find a way to stash some of these guys. You can't let them go, Yeah,
true.
As far as I'm concerned, that's just my thought. Let me see here. Chris Scott, man, member for 22 months, man. Shout out to you, man. Thank you for all your support, man. I appreciate it. He says Evans will make this team over Edmonds. I agree. I agree. I actually thought Evans was much better than Edmonds. It's gonna be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, says I like the week of because it gives teams time to get everything together. I know. I just get I get so impatient though. It's just like I'm ready, man. We've had 3 weeks of preseason. We haven't seen no starters at all. We've gotten like a little taste of Jalen Carter and Nolan Smith, and I want more. Brian, thank you for super chat. He goes, if the Giants can get Simmons, Howie can get Chin. I agree. Well, and from what they're saying, about Chin is that he's a guy that the Carolina looks like, they don't want to pay him big money. They're kind of like, they're starting their rebuild this year. I don't think they want to give him a huge contract. So that could be the move. That would be a just give us the NFC title right now. It's done.
Yeah.
Tight move. Brian Shepard says, is Devin Allen our kick returner, or do we have someone else in-house for this? I don't know. I don't know. He's looked the best, but I don't know if he's going to make the team. I don't know if he's going to make the roster.
The only guy, and that's only if they put him there, the only guy I think that could at least kind of looks like a kick returner that probably could be a kick returner could probably be like maybe Oz. Maybe Oz could be a kick returner, maybe. But that's it. I mean, I really don't think there's they've really been shitty with putting just putting random, like, why are you wasting reps with Trey Sermon at kick return, Zach McPherson at kick return? Like, they're just putting the most random bodies there. And God knows I don't want to see Greg Ward on punt returns. What's going to happen with Covey? I mean, what's going to happen with him? He's like no time to, this was a second off season for him. He was thrown in there as an undrafted free agent last year, but this was his time to really get better. And what if he doesn't look better? That's the whole thing.
Frank says Howie isn't going to pay big money for a defensive back. Well, I mean, of corners he's paid. I believe
paid Bradbury.
I believe in the right safety they would pay. But the thing is, even if they traded for Jeremy Chin, that's not going to have to come. That doesn't come with a contract extension. He's in camp. He's playing. So you would have him for at least 1 year under a rookie contract. Whether they extend him, that's a whole nother thing. They'll probably play it just like they played the whole C.J. Gardner-Johnson thing. Marley, thank you for the super chat. Roger Goodell just announced that for 2023, interceptions will now be called DACs. He said he's throwing a DAC and tested well with focus groups. I love it. Another DAC throw. DAC throws a DAC. I'm in. I'm going to call it that. Thank you for super chat. Eagles Lifer, thank you for super chat. Goes, need to fill 4 throne room fantasy slots and join Joey. There's
slots for what?
There's for my channel members. Well, if I have any unopened if I have open spots, I'll invite, he can do it. There's still channel members that haven't signed up yet, so I got to see if they want to play first. But if not, Joey's welcome to. Mm-hmm. Michael says, Philly and Joey, have you all seen the latest episode of Unscripted? I haven't. My brother was telling me about it today, but I haven't. Its features are Philly dogs. It is a must-see. I haven't seen. Have you seen it yet? Unscripted?
Yeah, I did. It was really cool. It was good.
Was it?
It's definitely worth a watch.
I want to see it. Do you think? What are your thoughts on Nakobe Dean? Do you feel he's too small, or do you think he's going to be a stud?
No, my gut feeling says he's going to have a really good year. It sucks that, he didn't really have too much playing time last year, because I don't think of the linebackers we have, a Kaiser White, I think played the less of the group that didn't really play well. He was just a sponge, he was playing special teams, and he was really a sponge in the linebacker room with Nick Rallis. So, I wish he had more under his belt, but I feel really good, but I kind of want to see. It's really up to Sean Desai what he's doing with this defense. Like, Sean Desai is the final piece to the puzzle of this defense, of what it's going to look like. So we're going to see it week 1. But Nakobe Dean, no, I don't, because I feel like he plays big. See how they're going to use him, and he's calling the plays, man. He's the quarterback of the defense, and we're going to see what kind of leader he is. We're going to see him make plays, and I think he's going to. I feel good about it. I don't want to, go crazy, but, because there's not much playing time under his belt. But
I think he's going to be a stud. I think there'll be issues like, that he gets pushed around sometimes against the run. I think there'll be things like that, but I think he has a nose for the ball. I think he's going to be a playmaker. I think we're going to be very happy with him. And I think Cunningham is going to be a complete steal, like a total 100% steal. JT56 says, y'all remember when Anthony Harris was cut? Yeah, Harris was cut at the and I think I remember he was cut at the end of last year during the 53, right after the C.J. Gardner trade. Wasn't he cut after that or before that?
Yeah, I think they cut him after that, and then what happened was they brought him back for the playoffs for depth. I think that's why they brought him in. They moved him up from practice squad to the active roster for the playoffs. That's what they did last year.
Yeah.
I remember.
Let me see something here. It sounds like there was a gifted membership in my channel. Was it my channel or yours? I don't know which one.
I don't see anything on mine.
Philly and Oz did a bunch of gifted memberships. but I can't see what it was. It's not showing me. Shout out. That's the thing now. Now they show channel membership stuff that they post, but they don't. It doesn't show you gifted memberships. Philly Nas, man, thank you for all the gifted memberships. I'm not so sure how many, but thank you so much, man. Appreciate that. That's awesome. I'm not sure which one it was and stuff, but thank you. Yes, there's a gifted membership on your channel. Thank you, man. Shout out to you. You are a goat for that. Absolutely. Eagles fan for life says, I don't trust Dean, too small. He will get bullied by linemen. He's going to be good at the passing game, but better than old man Cunningham we brought in, who will be gassed by third quarter. I think Cunningham's going to surprise you, and I think they're both going to surprise you. See, I think Dean. Yeah, I do think there will be times against the run that Dean could get pushed around, but I also think Dean is going to be really good at penetration.
Blows up a play. He's going to be good at blowing up a play for someone else.
He's very smart and he's fast, and he can get around. He can read plays quick. I think he's going to have a nose for the ball and be a guy that creates plays. The way the Eagles treated Cunningham tells me that they feel like they got an instant steal. Like he shot right up the depth chart, dude.
Oh yeah. They Sean Desai put a lot on his plate. He said he put a lot on his plate when they started this whole thing. When they gave him the green dot, he was going to be calling the plays, and they threw everything at him, and he's he handled it really well. He's a smart guy, smart kid. So.
Oh, Eagles Life Day for Super Chat goes, Jalen Carter is going to go off his rookie. Oh, I
can't fucking wait, dude.
I feel like this is going to be the closest to Jerome Brown that I've seen.
All right, Dan. You and Dan think the same way.
Who? Oh, Dan Cilia says. Well, Dan Cilia thinks he's. Yeah, I agree with him.
Yeah,
when I watched that first rush, I said that looked like Jerome Brown. That's what it looked like. Clark, gifted one Philly 500 membership, man. Shout out to you, man. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, I think it's going to be awesome. Cunningham was a solid move. Personally, field linebackers all patched up. I feel pretty comfortable with the linebacker. I mean, I'm sure you could use a little depth there. I think you could use depth, but I feel okay with linebacker. To me, the two positions that I'm curious about are the punter and that safety position. And I do like Sidney Brown. I just think I don't know where the Eagles are with it by the way that they played him in the preseason.
Right.
75 sacks this year. Wow.
Ooh.
I'm going to say I think Jalen Carter is going to have 9.5 sacks. That's what I think his rookie. I think he's going to have 9.5, and I think Jordan Davis is going to have 4. But Jordan Davis is going to have a monster.
Let me
for what Jordan Davis does. I think it's going to be big.
Let me actually switch it on you now. What do you think Nolan Smith is going to do this year? How do you feel about Nolan Smith going to the season?
I love Nolan Smith. I think Nolan Smith will eventually be like a 15, 16 sack guy. Jeez. I think his rookie year, just because I don't know how much he's going to get to see the field with Hassan Reddick and how they use him, but I think he's going to have 6-7 sacks his rookie year. And if he plays enough snaps, I think he can get double-digit sacks this year. Did you see the way he closed that one play where he hurt his shoulder? I mean, dude, he's a stud. But you got to find ways to use him on the field. And to me, that's the biggest thing.
I think part of it, too, is going to be him, when you talk about linebacker as well, if they play off-the-ball linebacker, they might have some packages where he's going in coverage as well. So maybe that's going to shore up linebacker a little bit more where they know they can use his athleticism, because I think he's more than a pass rusher. I think he could do a lot more because he's just so quick. You saw him on that, like you said, that reverse play. God, that's a receiver that can run a 4.3. I mean, he caught up to him. I mean, you know what I mean?
That's why I want to know, can he cover tight ends? I mean, his size, and speed. To me, Nolan Smith is got all the tools. It's just a matter of how many snaps will he get, and how much will they incorporate him? That to me is what matters the most, I think, for him. Philly Wyman says the Philly 500 community is the best. That's right. You know it is. Philadelphia underdogs, my man. He goes, Philly 500 Mark and the Cowboy fans are losing their minds. They're starting to believe their own delusion. Oh, they're insane. They're insane. Did you see the 180 Mark did with the Trey Lance stuff? Oh my God, it's so upset.
What, switching sides now?
Oh yeah, it was hard. He's a horrible bust of a quarterback, always injured. Where the Cowboys, it's a very smart, genius move, and it's like, and it's not about Dak Prescott. It's never about Dak Prescott. It's like, dude, you're delusional. This is all about Dak Prescott. Kenneth says Eli Ricks has 3 pick sixes this season with $720 million. What are you talking about? Is that like Madden or something?
I have no idea.
Stony Hawk says, give Josh Sweat some respect.
Oh, yeah.
He's not talking to us, right? Because we didn't say anything bad about Josh Sweat at all. He can't be talking to us because we love Josh Sweat. I mean, Josh Sweat's a double-digit sack guy. I think he's going to do it again. I don't know, Nathan. I mean, it's like he's like one of those guys. You don't need to talk about him. You already know what he gives you. Nathan says he's making plays across his body with his left arm, but it would be better if Smith's right arm always worked. Philly's doctors need to get to the bottom of that shit now. So his arm's not working? What do you mean? He's having problems moving his right arm? I didn't hear it. Last I heard was he's fine. Legend Killer, he goes, I know our running back room is mostly set, but I would be more comfortable if we stashed the running back on practice squad just in case Swift, Penny go down, especially Penny. Our power guy, Kenny G, is good. I think you'll see another running back come in, but I don't think it's going to be Trey Sermon, and I don't think it's going to be Brooks. I think they'll pick another running back off of somebody that gets cut on another team. That's what I think. I've seen enough Trey Sermon. He's got no burst.
Look, if Penny played in that last preseason game, like if he played some reps, then I could say that there was a spot open. It just doesn't seem like there's a spot open. And I don't know. The Jonathan Taylor stuff is just really weird to me too, because now apparently there was a poll from a lot of executives around the league, and they're saying that what is the value of Jonathan Taylor? It's not a first round pick. It's a day 2 pick. And the Eagles have 2 of them. And I don't know if they're going to go that far to sign a guy, to get him if it's important. But
you can't sit there and talk about a devalued running back group that, is now a devalued position, and you don't want to pay a running back, right? But you want a first round pick for him. It doesn't work both ways. It's either a devalued position or it's not. And so they're never going to get a first round pick for him. My thing is this is I think the Eagles and Howie would only sign Jonathan Taylor and trade for him is if the position becomes so devalued that it actually becomes a bargain. And if that happens, I think he pulls the trigger, Nathan says 500. Dean is the next Luke Kuechly. From your mouth to God's ears, because
that's a good career.
That's what we want. Clark, thank you for Super Chat. Goes, do we have more takeaways than last season?
They had 17, I think.
I think it's going to be close. If we blitz more, I'm going to say yes.
17 they had.
If we blitz more, which I think we will. I mean, dude, I think we blitz more in these 3 preseason games than we did all of last year.
I wonder if that's on the internet. Let me see if that's on the internet. Like, let's see.
Torneville says, I wouldn't be surprised if Jerry Jones orders McCarthy to rotate Lance in a game in certain situations. I think it's going to be like the Jaws Cunningham rotation with Buddy. Oh, my gosh. And you remember how much Ron Jaworski hated that. He hated that. To this day, Jaworski still talks about that. So, yeah, I hope so. Jacobs got a 1-year, $12 million deal. Did he just sign Josh Jacobs? Did he sign?
Who?
Dylan Jordan says, you missed my... Oh, hold on. Let me go back for it. I'm sorry. Sorry, Dylan. It's been real choppy, the stream. Here it is, buddy. Sorry about that. Dylan Jordan Davis Super Chat goes, I wish the starters got more reps this preseason. Yeah, I mean, I wish they got any reps. They got like 0 reps. It's crazy, right? Oh, he signed yesterday. So if Josh Jacobs signed a 1 year,
the 1 year
deal,
right?
So then that's what. So then to me, that's about what Jonathan Taylor would get, right? About a $12 million a year deal.
Off an injury?
Well, I mean, he's 24 years old. So I'm saying you should be able to get him for about $10 million a year.
It's a year-to-year league. I mean, you can't base off of – you're basing it off of, I guess, a good amount of work in a few years, but really, it wasn't a bad injury. It wasn't – right? It wasn't
an ankle injury? It was an ankle injury.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I would be – if it was Achilles or knee, I'd be more worried. But I'm just saying, if Jacobs just set the market at 1 year, $12 million, I think Saquon's making 15 on a franchise, and Jonathan Taylor's going to want somewhere around 12 to 15 million probably. But I would try to get him cheaper than that.
Yeah. True.
Michael says Zach Cunningham is very underrated linebacker. If I like him more when the Eagles signed him than Miles Jack. Cunningham had 3 straight 100+ tackle seasons in a row. Yeah, he had a hell of a career, and then he got injured. I thought the Miles Jack was going to be the better one, but you're right. Yeah. I was wrong. It was Cunningham. Miles Jack, I think he knows he just didn't have anything left.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah,
I mean, he signed even with Cunningham, he signed that big deal with the Titans, and then like you said, like just couldn't stay healthy, and I guess a cap casualty or something. They had to let him go.
The thing with Jonathan Taylor is we don't need him.
No,
if we're being honest, you don't need him, right? It would be a situation where you're trying to get a premier elite player at that position, partly because the coach on the team knows him. So, you want to take advantage of that situation. I get it. That's fine, but you don't need him. I think they're going to be fine with what they have. They're not going to have any problems running the ball. Tortyville says you would have to put a bunch of bonus clauses in Taylor's contract based on games played. Yeah, you'd have to do something. So the all-time sack record is 82. Is it something like that. It is something like that. If we would have blitzed more last year, I think we would have broke that record. Dad says Mazzy Smith is getting thrown around like a rag doll again. It's so funny because Mark Holmes kills Jordan Davis. He kills Jordan Davis. And then he's sitting there talking about Mazzy Smith, about how Mazzy Smith isn't going to be a sack guy. And all he needs to do is take up space. And if he does that, he's successful. It's a great pick.
He's not even doing that.
I'm thinking to myself, that's exactly what the Eagles want from Jordan Davis. So, it's it just shows you how they change. They change their narrative to fit whatever it is. I think Jordan Davis is a space eater. It's going to take on a double team. He'll stop the run. He might get 5 sacks a year, but Jalen Carter is the guy who's going to do everything else. So it's crazy.
I mean, I'm just trying to compare this defense to what Sean Desai had in 21. He had 48 sacks with that roster, and it was nothing compared. The Bears in 21 is nothing compared to what we have this year. I mean, it's a night and day defense. It's just crazy. It's nuts.
Yeah. Renner said, you're going to blitz and get beat by bombs. 9-8. Listen, you could get beat by bombs not blitzing. You could get beat by bombs if you don't get pressure on a quarterback and they've got all day to throw. I mean, we had Jonathan Gannon blitz 9% of the time, and you had quarterbacks with 88% completion percentages. To me, this game is very simple, especially the way the NFL does its rules nowadays. It favors the offense. The offense has an advantage. The only way, truly, in my opinion, to be successful in defense is you have to get pressure on a quarterback, and you have to be able to blitz at times, because if you don't, I think you'll get eaten up. I would rather give up the occasional bomb than die every week by 1,000 paper cuts, because that shit is so annoying to me. Yeah, you risk sometimes a bomb, but that's why you have James Bradbury and Darius Slay. I think, and I'm not saying you have to blitz 90% of the time, but if you blitz 9% under Jonathan Gannon, and you go up to what did this side do it 23% of the time? That's a significant jump. And the Eagles, with the defensive line they have and the tools that they have, they should definitely blitz more, in my opinion.
I mean, I'm looking at a list right now, and I'm looking at the teams that blitzed the most last year. Okay, in 22, and the Bears are number one on the list. The Eagles are 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th. The Eagles were 7th on this list. Can't be right. There's no way this is right. The Eagles are 7th highest blitzing percentage.
I saw the statistic. They had 9% blitz percentage last year. I seen it. So, no, they blitz 9% of the time.
That's crazy.
So you have to get pressure on quarterback today. That's really the only way to neutralize the advantages that the offense have in the NFL. So I'm a big believer in the blitz, and I was a big believer in the blitz from the Buddy Ryan days and Jim Johnson. I strongly believe in the blitz, and yes, you will occasionally give up a big play, but gosh, you're no quarterback. No, I mean, remember Zach Wilson struggled his rookie year, and he comes in and he lit us up. He had like his career day, like almost 80% completion percent. That can't happen, you know?
Yeah, we did the same thing with a few quarterbacks that threw
Derek
over 80,
Carr was
90.
Like 38 of 41.
Chargers as well. The Chargers game,
yeah,
too.
You can't do that. So I'm not saying, listen, if I was a defensive coordinator, it would probably be I blitz about 70% of the time. I'm not going to lie.
His blitz, so
20%,
yes,
I'll take it.
The size blitz rate with the Bears in 21 was 22.6, which is heavily a lot better. But I'm not saying that blitzing all the time is a great thing. Not saying that it's when you don't have enough of it, when you rely on that pass rush so much. You know, Jim Schwartz did the same thing, but when he created pressure, he knew how to do it as well, like at times. But
let me tell you, you would never see a young quarterback like Zach Wilson have the kind of game he did against the Eagles with Jim Johnson. And Big Mac says he loved Jim Johnson. I did too. He blitzed, and he brought blitzes that you didn't know. He would confuse a young quarterback. If you didn't have 3 years experience against, in the league, you weren't beating the Eagles. Jonathan Gannon don't blitz. And when a quarterback is in, when a quarterback starts the first half and he's 14 of 17, 16 of 18, you've got to do something to get him off that rhythm. And Jonathan Gannon just sat back and just would die by 1,000 paper cuts. And it would like literally take years off my life. You got to do stuff sometimes. You have to.
A lot of games last year, a second, really making adjustments in the second half. And when you fix those adjustments, you go into the next game playing your base defense, your base same passive defense, and then make changes again. It's like he just didn't take that change and put it to the next game. You had so many games where like you're giving up yard. Like we would have literally teams with our foot on their necks, and then as soon as the second half, as soon as the first half is done with, you're literally letting these teams have breathing room. You're bringing these teams back to life in a lot of games, and it really pisses us off. And it's not fair to the offense that now you're putting so much pressure on the offense. Thank God we had a good offense, because if we didn't, I don't know what this season would have looked like last year.
I agree. And Reggie White, I just wanted to make sure. Reggie White, it technically wasn't a rookie year in Philly, but he had his first year in Philly, he had 13 sacks. But I don't think he was considered a rookie because he came from the USFL, and that was considered a professional league. So I think the Eagles' rookie sack record is 9.5. I think it's Corey Simon. But Reggie technically wasn't a rookie, but he was a rookie, but they didn't consider it because he came from the USFL. But he had 13 sacks that year. I just think that you need a more aggressive defense. If you look at the Super Bowl, that whole second half, Patrick Mahomes had 2 incompletions. For a whole half, 2 incompletions. And Jonathan Gannon didn't try to do anything. It just makes no sense to me.
Sure.
Paul, thank you for the super chat. I mean, you have to have balance, and you have to be able to know when to blitz and not know when to blitz, and pull off and fake it, and come with come with a cornerback blitz. Give a look that you're blitzing this linebacker, blitz this other guy. Like Jim Johnson used to do that so well. Paul, thank you for super chat. He goes, let's trade Barnett and bring a pick to bring Micah to play where his heart is. His heart and mind are. Fly Eagles, fly go Birds. Yeah, well, future Eagle Micah Parsons would love that. He would love to be in Philly. John Davis super chat. He goes, our Birds are on a mission, and opposing teams' quarterbacks are going to be scared. It's going to be glorious. P.S. F those Dallas cockroaches. Thank you for the super chat, my man. Appreciate you. Shout out to you. Brian asks, is Quez's injury concern? His strength is his speed, and he has a leg injury.
Oh, could be a good chance. There could be a really good chance that Oz might start as the slot receiver this year. I don't know. I mean, he missed a lot of valuable time, missed the joint practices, valuable time missed there, and obviously preseason games. But I mean, I don't know what's going to happen. He's going to make the team, obviously, but
yeah, it's going to be interesting, no doubt about it. Hold on 1 second here. Okay, sorry, my AirPods. I randomly just disconnected.
Philly.
Yeah.
We're getting throttled this stream.
What do you mean?
I was looking at I was looking in studio. We're getting land-based this stream.
What do you mean? They're
with the usually when it turns yellow,
yours is yellow?
Yeah. Not suitable for all viewers.
Wow, mine's still suitable.
Oh, really? That's weird.
Yeah, that is weird. But they must be after you. What did you do?
I don't know.
It's weird. Just have them review it.
Yeah,
because it's not. We didn't say anything wrong.
Right.
Joseph's fact: they didn't start counting sacks until the late 70s and the 50s. One Eagle had 13 sacks in one game. So, oh yeah, that's right. There was a documentary where they said this Eagle player had 13 sacks in one game. But they didn't keep it as a statistic back then. I seen that.
Oh.
But yeah, it's crazy. I don't know how bad Quez is really injured or not. I mean, I think he should be ready to go. He was practicing at the end of last week. So I expect Quez to be able to go. I do. Toryville says, I'm surprised we don't have Cowboys fans in here bragging that they're going to the Super Bowl because the Cowboys are beating the Raiders right now in the third preseason game. Well, that's the reason why. They're all watching. If this was like at the end of the Cowboys game, they all come flooding in here. But we'll be long gone before they get done. Let's see. Sorry, resource has been exhausted thing. What is that? I don't know what that means. What does that mean? Sack will be the first, and by Reddick. Who gets the first sack? Okay, so we're doing props. I'm gonna say Jalen Carter first sack of the season.
Ooh.
On the third defensive play of the game.
Hey. I like it.
Wow, Rockham Bay just took a shot at Philly 500. I love it.
Who?
Where is it? Let me see.
That's pretty
good. Rockham. Where is he? I can't find it now.
You look like a cannoli?
Yeah.
1027.
He says, 500, you look like a Pokemon evolution of Joey. Oh, that he changed it. Earlier I looked like a cannoli. I like the cannoli one. Let's see.
I have no idea.
I don't know. He says, here you go. 500. You look like a cannoli that wanted to be a person. Thank you. I take it as a compliment. Dylan Jordan, David Super Chat goes, bring Taylor back home to Jersey and put the Birds over the top. After it would make that offense really scary. I will say that. It would be really scary. That combination of him and Swift, it would be scary. Yes. I agree. Yeah, it's Reggie, 13 sacks and 95. But the thing is I don't believe, and I don't know, I'm not 100% sure, but I don't believe they counted him as a rookie because he had come out of the USFL, which was another professional league. So he wasn't considered a rookie in terms of being professional. So I don't think he gets it in the statistic book. Eagles Fan for Life says, love all the white 500. I'm definitely going to be stealing your drip. Awesome, man. I appreciate it. I'll take it. That's good. But I guess, we're an hour and 20 minutes in. Is there anything else we got to talk about? We got more cuts coming tomorrow, and it should be interesting.
The cuts are coming fast.
Yeah. Is there more since we've been on?
What? I'm sorry.
Has there been more since we've been on?
No, I was looking. Like I was kind of afraid of that. Like making a video. Like well,
that's why
I don't know.
That's why I don't make videos. Like when they do all the cuts, I don't make.
Right.
Otherwise, you'd be like, you do a video and then you post it, and then somebody else just gets cut. I just wait each day. And
right.
Go through it because it's just too much movement. Paul, unless it's somebody something you don't expect big. Paul Bearhalter, thank you for Super Chat. He goes, looking forward to see teams try to stop our offensive defense. I know. I'm looking forward to that. Dwight Davis says, Philly 500. Dallas Cowboys beating the Raiders 32-16. How about them Cowboys? Oh my God.
God, stop.
Oh, it's preseason.
Same as the Commanders with the celebration. Like it's been a playoff game over there. Literally every preseason game. It's bad nuts.
They think they're going somewhere because of preseason. Mark Holmes was doing a video trying to talk about the Eagles are in trouble. They're losing. We're losing the last preseason game. I'm like, dude, the Colts had their starters out for a whole half, and we had third, fourth stringers in. You got to be realistic, Joey, is that a kangaroo? Joey 500. What up, fellas? I caught the end here after just finishing Joey's last cut video. Well, thank you for being here. Artificial on the track. Appreciate you, man. Yeah, Johnny King got cut today. Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Gone.
I like
He's
him.
gone. Josh Andrews got cut. Couple of linemen. Didn't Toth get cut too? I think 3 offensive linemen got cut today.
5.
There's really no surprises. I don't think Tyree Jackson getting cut is a surprise to me.
No.
And I don't think I think maybe Deion Kane getting cut isn't a surprise. I just didn't think he would get cut this early. That surprised me a little bit. The individual, thank you for the super chat, man. Shout out to you. He goes, the first repeat division winners for the NFC in ages, Philadelphia Eagles.
Please.
Yeah,
God.
oh yeah, I agree. I totally agree. Michael says, cut Kelly as well. Eagles really like that tackle, Freddie.
Yeah.
Fred Johnson. Yeah, well, they
3
gave
years.
him a 2-year deal.
2-year? Oh, yeah. 2-year deal.
Yeah. Yeah, T. Patrick says, cut him early and make it through waivers. That's what I think, exactly what I think, too. I think they did it early.
Someone said, Joey, are you ever going to delete the Jalen Reagor Welcome to Philly video? Nah, it's going to stay up.
No,
that's
got to stay up for historical purposes.
Yeah, right. That's what it's about,
Yeah. Donnie says, Eli Ricks and Josh Jobe are locks to stay. Oh, yeah, I agree.
Hopefully.
Rockham says, who do you all think the biggest threat is?
As in
the NFC conference? Probably, I don't know, maybe the 49ers? 49ers, probably?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Depending on the quarterback situation, but see.
John says, 1982, Philly Dello was, wow, 1982, ain't that something? That's something. Yeah, it's surprising it was so it was not that long ago. Dank Kelly Green Burrito says, all you need to know about the importance of preseason. The 2008 0-16 Lions went 4-0 in preseason. Yeah, preseason, it's all about who you start and who the other team's starting,
Right,
there are teams that like to play their starters, and there are teams that don't. So just depends. But I thought, for the most part, I was kind of proud that our backups, third or fourth string, held their own against the Colts starters.
Yeah, the Colt, I don't know. Like, Anthony Richardson's got to relax a little bit, but
yeah, he's a rookie. He's got to learn. T. Patrick said, I think the biggest threat is going to be the Lions. Youngtown team. Yeah, Lions could be really good. It's going to be an interesting team to watch.
I think that opener against the Vikings is going to be interesting because Jordan Addison is playing out of his mind. He's playing really well. So
it's gonna be a fun day. I'm doing a double header on pause on a Sunday, the opening week, so it'll be fun. Yeah, correction, the 49ers. Yeah, I would say that they're probably the biggest threat. Lions could be up there. I just think the NFC is wide open. And I think that the AFC is really where it's going to be like a bloodbath because there's so many good teams in the AFC. So I think the path for the Eagles to Super Bowl is actually not that bad, So we'll see. But, I mean, is there anything else you want to say before we get out of here? We're about an hour and 25 minutes in. I think we're good, man, until tomorrow when you probably got to do videos and stuff.
What so do we have planned for another stream, another stream very soon?
Yeah, so I'm going to try to take off early on Tuesday and come home right at cut time. And I was thinking, we talked about doing a stream after the final 53 is turned in and then going through that. So we should do that on Tuesday and then just regular on Saturday, I guess.
Yeah.
After that. I do want to answer this one real. King KB Edit says, your thoughts on Joseph Nagata? I like Joseph Nagata. I think he needs time to develop. So I think he gets cut, probably clears waivers, and then returns on our practice squad.
Right.
That's what I think.
Agreed.
Jason, Jonathan Taylor decision on Tuesday too. What do you mean? I didn't hear it. Tell me.
Yeah, he's got until Tuesday to figure out what he wants to do. Either finding a team or
sitting out. Is he going to leave?
Sitting out or staying at the price he's at. By 4 o'clock on two. I guess that's.
I have a weird feeling, dude.
Oh no!
I have a weird feeling. I don't know if it's him, but I have a weird feeling that we're going to get a Howie Roseman special coming up by Tuesday. You know what I mean? Like he's going to do something to blow our minds. I feel like I feel like he's up to something, dude. I do. I do. Whether it's Jonathan Taylor or not, but I feel like something's up.
Whether it's Taylor or a big move or a debt move, it could be It could be a lot of different things.
They don't need Taylor. But if you add Taylor, I don't know how you stop this offense.
Right.
I just don't know because you got the combination of Taylor Swift, which is crazy. I don't know how you stop it. I don't. So it'd be really interesting.
And yeah, I believe it.
Yeah. King says, I just thought AJ got injured, Nagata could be someone's size like him. Yeah, the thing that I think he's got to get a little faster though. The one thing that worried me about Nagata in the preseason was his inability to separate. AJ Brown gets separation. I just think he needs time to develop. That's how I feel about it. Hosea Jones, thank you for super chat. He goes, thoughts on all the injuries around the NFL and games being canceled for it. I know of one that got canceled. Was there another one that got canceled today? I mean, these preseason games have become so meaningless that I can understand why they would want to cancel. I think that they, the way they treat preseason, it makes sense. I don't think in the regular season they should be doing that, though. I don't think you can.
This is why the Eagles are one of 3 teams that doesn't do minicamp because we've already had a good amount of injuries around the league already.
Yeah,
I'm glad we didn't agree with it last year. We didn't agree with it. 21 we didn't agree with it. We didn't agree with that. We didn't agree with obviously Jalen Hurts. Even going to last year, that last season, we're like, oh, Jalen Hurts had one, barely, just a few reps in the first game, and we were like, dude, he needs more work. This is not enough, and then.
Right.
There's a plan behind it.
And they scored 40 points or something against Detroit.
Right.
I'm not going to worry about that, Jason, Davis has scary injury. Looked like headed. Well, that's horrible. I mean, I hope he's okay, but preseason, I said this at the end of my last video, like, I feel like almost like I would rather them just cancel preseason games and then have once a week have an open practice and then like just broadcast that, like get 4 different cameras to like look at different, positions and like let people at home just be able to switch cameras and watch. Like, to me, that would be more fun to watch than some of these preseason games because you can't see Jalen Hurts or A.J. Brown or Devontae Smith. You can at practice, but not then,
Who's number? Everyone's like laughing at something from the Raiders Cowboys. Who's number 58 on the Who's number 58 on the Cowboys? By the way, I just want to know because he got lambasted, like, and then everybody's
Devontae Smith.
Is it? I don't know. That's why I'm asking. Who's number 58, guys?
I think it's Mozzie Smith, dude.
If it is, he got drugged.
Oh man,
he got picked up and thrown. If that's him,
I think it's Mozzie Smith. I think he's 58. I think.
Is it? It's
Mozzie Smith.
He got bro. He got fucked up.
Oh, I can't wait to see it.
I'll tag you.
That's great. 58 is Mozzie Smith. Dude, they thought they drafted Nolan Smith, and it was Mozzie Smith. And if he stinks, it's going to be awesome. It is going to be awesome.
Wow.
Ojomo hasn't. Yeah, Ojomo is probably going to be.
Jesus.
Mozzie Smith loves getting pancaked. It's trending on Twitter. Oh, wait, let me see.
I just tagged you. Look at it.
All right, let me see. Is it from the broadcast or is it like?
Nah, someone taped it from their TV, but you can see it pretty clearly.
Okay, I'll put it through my phone. All right, so here.
God,
look at him get destroyed. Oh my gosh, he got blown up. Dude, what do you think Landon Dickerson's going to do to him, dude?
I don't know.
Mozzie Smith stinks. Joe says, thank you, Philly Joey, for an amazing podcast. Thank you, man. Can't wait to see you guys next Sunday versus Pats.
Thanks, Joe.
Man, it's going to be awesome. Mozzie Smith stinks. Mark Holmes will do like 8 videos about it tonight. All we want him to do is take up space. Okay.
Yeah, somewhere he's taking space somewhere else.
Yeah, he's taking space on the ground.
Yeah, he's the damn turf field.
It's going to be awesome. That's probably why all the Cowboy fans aren't coming in here because they saw that. Yeah, we're going out. Oh, that's hilarious. All right, guys. Well, we're going to let you go. I'm sure Joey will have videos out tomorrow. I will too. I hope you guys have a great night, great weekend. Enjoy your family. Enjoy whatever you're doing. And we'll see you guys later. You guys take care. And peace. See you.
Peace.
More play. We had one.
Yo, you gotta be motherfucking kidding me.
You gotta be kidding me. We have no time for one more play.
Look at this motherfucker
What you doing?
running from
What you doing?
to get off the field on 3rd down.
What was that bullshit?
That is not right.
Tell him more. He's got to be better, man. He wasn't.
Oh, that's some bullshit. What was that? We had no time for one more
He
play.
had an opportunity to win that game at the end.
But the referee screwed us.
Way, but, this is just,
The brother screwed us.
I'm upset, but
The brother screwed
it
us.
is, man.
At least they fought back and tried.
Only Cowboys games.
Yeah, you
The
literally.
brother screwed us. The brother screwed us.
It's going to end the way.
Yeah, we had one.